Alright, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Infinite Ability Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Yerhart, and today we have a really cool guest. Her name is Josie, and let me just start off by saying I love her hair. So, if you are seeing this on video, you gotta look at her hair. It's incredible. Alright, Josie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Josie. I'm from St. Louis. I'm in my 40s. Hair notwithstanding, I decided a few years ago life's too short for boring hair. I have ADHD, and that affects my life in a lot of ways, but I refuse to say I can't, which is why I related to your content.
Yep.
And thought maybe it'd be fun to have a conversation with you about all this.
Yeah, I think so too. And yeah, you know, I don't like to say I can't. Instead, I say, how can I? And
Right.
I think if we all could just look at life like that, like our possibilities are, infinite. My slogan.
I agree.
You can do anything.
Right. Modifying tasks to make them doable for you is not a failure. It's how you get stuff done.
Yep.
It doesn't make you less than. It took me till way too late in my life to learn that, so I want other people to know it now.
Exactly.
Start making your life better now. Right.
Yep. I've always, obviously I have cerebral palsy, so every day is a challenge, and I've kind of always had that outlook on life. Just my dad always said, "Don't let your disability hold you back. Figure out your own way to do everything." So that's how I lived. But because I lived like that doesn't mean that I was necessarily okay with it. I always felt this like I was a little less than because of it. And it wasn't until about a year and a half to 2 years ago I started to really embrace it and go, no, this is okay. And it makes me who I am.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I think a little bit of a difference is your disability was probably really obvious from a young age.
Yes, definitely.
Whereas for me, it wasn't. And so I was told I was lazy. I wasn't living up to my potential. I was this. I was all these negative things because I can't do things the way other people do them. Doesn't mean I can't do them. But nobody saw it or thought about, hey, if we help her adapt to this task, she can do a whole lot more, Just, oh, you're being lazy because you won't learn to do it the way we do it. I can't. My brain works different.
Yeah, it does. And it really does. And, that's why I love doing the show, is to showcase how it is so people understand a lot better.
Right, yeah. I want people to know younger so they can figure this out sooner and make more of their lives, right? Just because you can't see a disability doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Exactly, yeah. I agree so much. And, you said mine's more apparent and you can see it. But, to me, when, day-to-day life, I forget I have it.
Right.
So
because
then
it's always how you've been, right?
Exactly. Like it's who I am. So then growing up, when people would point it out, I felt really down on myself because I don't feel the way that I look.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Like when I talk, how I talk, like how I hear myself in my head. There's no speech impediment, nothing. There is a stutter, because I can tell when I stutter. That's for sure. But, other than that, like, in my head, I sound, quote-unquote, normal.
Right.
But, it's just, and for me, like, my whole life, I tried to basically hide my disability.
Right.
And, like you said, mine's apparent. You can see it. You can't hide this. Like I can't hide this. And it was once I learned to embrace it, was recently is when I really started to live, because I
Right.
was finally happy with myself, and I loved myself.
Yep. Loving yourself is so important, but it can be so hard to do with all the messages you get
Oh yeah.
about it's bad to be different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there is a downside to it being physically apparent, is that people don't expect much out of you, or they think you can't, when really you can. So
Exactly.
there's positive as negatives to it being visible versus invisible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're both unique, you know,
Exactly.
but
Yep.
it doesn't make either way, worse than the other. It's just,
Exactly. Nope.
it's. I think it comes down to just who we are, and I feel like our, disabilities or different abilities make us
Right.
who we are.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree. So, I
So,
have a hard time with open-ended questions, so if you've got some kind of direct questions, I'd be awesome with that.
yep, of course.
Hmm?
So, what is like the challenge that you face daily when it comes to having ADHD?
Executive function, which covers a lot of things, but one of them is working memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your brain doesn't have as much RAM as others. Like your brain's a computer and yours doesn't have as much RAM. They say neurotypical people can carry about 6 to 8 tasks in working memory. Okay, I need to move the laundry into the dryer, then I need to clean off the counter so I can start making dinner, and I need to get out the ingredients and all the stuff. Nope, mine starts kicking tasks out after like 2. So I
Okay.
have to write everything down and every step because it doesn't ever stay in my head that tasks have multiple steps.
Okay.
40 something years and it doesn't stay. So I figured out if I just write it down, I've
Yeah.
got a list here of notes because writing it down makes it stick because now
Mm-hmm.
I've thought it and written it.
Yeah.
But that's still just a tool. It doesn't stay the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
Time blindness is the other one. I don't know how long anything takes. So I have 4 alarms for work. One that
Mm-hmm.
says, okay, wake up, start adjusting to the fact that you're awake, scroll on the phone, make sure you didn't miss anything important. Then another
Mm-hmm.
one that says, okay, get up and make coffee and breakfast, wash your face, all that stuff. Get out of the bed. So we do that. And there's another one that says it's time to start putting on your makeup and finding your clothes. And finally, one that says turn off the computer and go.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I know in my head that whole time frame is about 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But if those alarms don't go off, I do not notice that 30 minutes has passed, an hour has passed.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, and instead of, beating myself up and saying I should be able to do this, forget it. Let me set the reminders that let me actually do it.
Exactly. Like you have your own way, and it's
Mm-hmm.
awesome that you figured out a way that works for you. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what everybody needs to do. Just
Mm-hmm.
figure out your own way. And
Right.
don't be ashamed of it or think you're any lesson like we were talking about earlier. No,
Right.
it's just simply who you are and what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's different.
Correct. Yep.
So yeah, I love that you set alarms.
Mm-hmm.
Basically you got scheduled alarms so you can
For
get shit done.
everything, because otherwise I don't.
Yep.
Or,
I
my
like
little
that.
hobby job is streaming on Twitch, and I say, okay, I'm going to stream at 9:30, and I don't set my alarms for that, and I'm never there at 9:30 because tonight
Yep.
I still won't do it, even though I've already got my makeup on and everything, and I'm ready to go.
It,
I will lose track of time, and all of a sudden it's 9:35, and I've still got to set up all my software.
well, if I remember, I'll shoot you a text at 9 so you can get
Hey.
on there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I really need
I'll
to.
hold, as a coach, I hold my clients accountable. So,
Mm-hmm.
you're a guest on my podcast. I guess I can hold you accountable.
Yeah, or I could sometimes I also don't process thoughts until I speak them out loud, so that makes it occur to me I need to set the alarms for that too. It's not work.
Yeah.
The job that pays me most of my money is not the most only important thing. in my life, right? I need to set alarms for the other stuff too.
Yep. Exactly. So, I think my audience would like to know more about your Twitch and gaming.
Oh, okay. During the pandemic, everybody started streaming. I've played World of Warcraft since 2006. And they came out with the classic version of the game, the old version of the game, back in 2019, I think. I said, nah, I've already done it. I don't want to. And then one of my customers at work gave me her card, and she streams on Twitch, and she streams this brand new game mode called the Classic Hardcore Challenge. Now, World of Warcraft is an MMORPG, right? And when you die, you just come back to your body and start, get back to what you were doing. And you group. That's the point of an MMO. You trade with people. You group with people. No. This guy goes by the name of Cargos. Invented a way where if you die, you delete your whole character. You don't trade with anybody. You don't get any help with anything. You do it completely by yourself. And if you die, you delete your character. And I said, nope, that's too hard. I can't. I shouldn't have told myself that. I can't. Nope. I'm just going to watch you. So I watch, but man, it's really interesting. Okay, I'll try it, but I'm not going to take it seriously. I'll maybe get to level 10. I got to level 13. I died to something really stupid, and I got hooked. And so I started studying it and watching the people who play it. And, it was a way to make friends. Because I have ADHD, but also some features of autism. My social skills can be a little iffy. But so I started streaming myself playing and supporting the other people who were streaming playing this, and just got to where even this guy who invented it noticed that I'm everybody's cheerleader and that I know stuff. And just over the years, for the first time, and I'm going to cry this makeup off now, for the first time in 40-something years, somebody believed in me and saw my disability as an asset. And as it turns out, I can. Almost a year after I started, I did it. I completed the challenge. No grouping, no trading, no dying. All the way to max level. And I've been a mod in the community. I've written some of the code for the add-on that we used before there were official hardcore servers. The community got so big. The company that makes the game made official servers where if you die, it deletes your character for you. Biggest accomplishment ever. And yeah, that's my gaming. That's my streaming. I still play like that. I love it.
That's so cool. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I know how passionate you are about it. And,
yes.
I know a lot of people that game. My best friend, he games all the time, so I understand it's not just a video game. It's a whole community. It's
correct. Yes.
People. It's people who understand you. People who, like you for who you are.
Right. And it's this whole thing that all my life I've been told, being hyper focused on something. And being really super blunt with the way I talk and direct. And all this, it's a bad thing. It's a disability. You're no good. It turned out to be a great thing because I can make my point and people listen. I met my partner through this.
That's awesome. So cool.
I'm going to visit him for the first time in August.
That's exciting.
It is very exciting. Met some really good friends through the community. Yeah. And it's great. I love the internet. I'm old, but I love the internet.
Yeah, me too. I love technology right up until the point where it doesn't work.
Well, there's always that.
There's always that.
Same.
Yeah.
But growing up in a generation where there wasn't iPhones and you don't push the button and things, you have to go digging through your file systems to find out where the problem is and how to fix it. And that has become an asset as well. I don't just expect things to happen. I know why they happen and how they happen. And even though I can't sit at a desk long enough to have a job like that, I've tried. It doesn't suit my strengths. It's
Yep.
not that I can't, it's that it'd be hard to find a business that would accept my strengths and weaknesses, but I found one in doing what I actually do for a living, which is customer service and floral. I'm a florist.
That's awesome.
I'm
That's
on my feet. Every day is different, but there's routines, so it works.
Yep, exactly. And that's exactly it. Like, you gotta find what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care who you are. Finding a job is not easy.
Mm-mm.
And the chances of you finding a job that you actually enjoy are hard.
Right.
You really gotta search for it, and it takes a long time, a lot of times.
It does.
The fact that
It
you
does.
like your job is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's another place where you can't say I can't. You got to find what you can.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you're awesome. I love your outlook on life. I love how open you are. Me and you had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and it was just a joy. You're just a joy to talk to.
Well, thank you. It's very easy to talk to you, and I don't find that with a lot of people, so you're pretty awesome yourself.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm pretty awesome. All right, so my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to you?
Well, that's a tough one. I think that it comes back to what we've been saying this whole time, that there's not just one way. When you understand that you can make your own way, you don't have to do it the way everybody else does. You can do almost anything.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Don't get stuck on I can't. Say how can I?
Yep. Exactly.
Just like you said. Yep.
I love that. I love that. So awesome. So, do you have any last words of wisdom or anything you would like to share?
Just, find your I can. Be yourself, find your people, and find your I can.
I love that.
That's all I got.
Find your I can. I might steal that. I might steal that from you.
Go ahead.
Find your I can. I love that. That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's there. Find it.
Yep. Like you said, it's not easy. It took me 31 years to find my I can. And I could do a lot, but it wasn't what I wanted to do.
Right.
And, my I can is my business that I have now.
That's awesome.
My I can. That's something that a lot of people, with disabilities or whatever you want to call it, I like to say different abilities.
Right.
They get told they can't do things like this.
Right, but that's nonsense. You just have to do it differently.
Exactly. And that's what this show is all about. Empowering others to figure out that they can do things even though they're told that they can't.
Right.
One thing I live by is tell me I can't, and I'll show you I can.
That's a big key to being successful, is using that as motivation. Using all the negatives as motivation instead of getting bogged down in it, and believing it.
Yeah, like, to me, it's like a game. Like, somebody tells me I can't do something, and I just get the shit-eating smirk, and it's just like, watch this, guys. That's who I am. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I know your story is gonna help so many others. So it's just
I hope so.
Incredible that you took this opportunity to share that with more people.
Of course.
You're just amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course.
All right.
All right, everyone. This has been another episode of the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I will see you on the next one. And remember, your abilities are infinite.